Have you ever thought what are the key factors influencing online consumer behavior and how you can your brand evaluate them in order to achieve user satisfaction and loyalty? We're very glad to have here with us Ms. Xenia Kourtoglou, co-founder of the #1 humanized marketing platform, eSatisfaction.
So, hello everyone. I hope you hear me well. My intention is to wake you up after lunch if you haven't had coffee. I will try to speak in English, but there will be some Greek stuff inside. All my presentation is in English for you guys. So I'm going to talk how we can install in ourselves and in our organizations a 360 feedback culture, and why we need that and how we can do it. So what I'm going to talk about is why we need feedback, how is 360 feedback, what consumers do with feedback, and at the end there will be a surprise for you and a secret. So before I start, I want to tell you a few words about me for those of you who don't know me. And there's 3 things I love. I love my work, I love sharing, and I love my daughter. So I launched my market research company, Focus Bari, in 1988, and I'm happy to enjoy it as a love brand as characterized by the market. And then I launched together with a team of fantastic guys, eSatisfaction, which is the first humanized platform. It makes sure that you can boost your Omnichannel customer experience. I love sharing, so I've been a teacher at Pandion University for 14 years. I've created a network for women entrepreneurship, and I'm a mentor at EGG. And last year I wrote a book which is called Your Best Opportunity Is Now, because I want to share whatever I have if some people can find it useful and valuable. And I love my daughter, who is a soprano, and I'm very proud of her. And now a few words about our country. We have an internet penetration of 88% among ages 6 to 74. So even the older ages, 55 to 75, are active internet users. So it's very important for you to understand that those people are farsighted, so they need big letters in order to read. Now, smartphone ownership is 82%, and once you have a smartphone, you have everything in your hands. And I'm here to ensure, to tell you all that smartphone is the #1 device of internet access. It's much higher right now in Greece than laptop and tablet. We have daily reach of social networks by 60%, and e-commerce, e-shoppers are 58% of this population. So we are, of course, there are a lot of generations and different typologies as far as tech savviness is concerned, but this is a basic picture. So why do we need feedback? Now, if we see it from a market researcher's point of view that I am, my work itself is feedback. I chose it when I was 19. And I chose it and I love it because it helps businesses grow and succeed in a healthy way. Because once you know what your customers want, who your customers are, how your customers feel, and what are their needs, then you can develop them accordingly and succeed. And I will use a slide that I saw from Nickos Varvadoukas when we were speaking together at an InfoCom opening. Today's customer engagement calls for all this. Our consumer says, know me, attract me, make my life easy, anticipate my needs, feel what I feel, and reward me. Now, when I saw that by Nickos, what I said to myself is I want to find a guy like that. because this is a human relationship. Humans to humans, this is what we ask from our loved ones. And why not our customers? But we have to give it first. And of course we have to know it. And according to what I believe, we need feedback because we need to communicate. Feedback makes us better in active listening, which is a very important part of communication. Communication is not just about we speaking to somebody else, but listening to what somebody else has to say. Only then it is effective. And for those of you who want to know a bit more about active listening, please give yourselves 10 minutes to read about what active listening is. And then we can develop empathic understanding, understand what the other person feels, where the other person is. Developing empathy helps us be better in all our life aspects. And of course, if we have the above two, we can do effective messaging. We need feedback as a measure of our results. Our customers are our mirrors at the end of the day. And feedback helps us evaluate what are our achievements and what are our gaps or improvements or needs that we have to cover in order to be better. And of course, what gets measured gets progress. We need feedback as guidance for our next developments, because the trends show us the way next. And we can fine-tune and improve something that we have ready to launch. And we can minimize our risk as entrepreneurs. And at the end of the day, we need feedback because we want to expand our awareness. It actually boosts self-growth and leads to successful businesses and builds healthy relationships with anybody, with our friends, with our spouses, with our colleagues, with our customers, with our bosses, and with our subordinates. Feedback is a key characteristic of a growth mindset. And I love it. So how is 360 feedback? It is a mindset by itself. It concerns all relationships and it leads to success. And it does not only have to do with customer feedback or with employee feedback. It has to do with feedback exchange with everyone and from everyone. Now, I have developed a mechanism which I think at the end of the day is an art skill that we can all develop. And first we have to start by accepting that feedback is most valuable, worth our adequate attention, time and resources. When I started my career, I don't know if it was because I was a woman or because my sector was not so important, in quotes, because the big, the high hierarchy ranks believed they knew everything. I've seen days when I've seen fantastic marketing directors in big multinational companies thinking that housewives are stupid. No, they're not. They're not. I've been through times where they thought that the consumer is not important, that the opinion of consumers is not something they should take into account. I'm glad to see that nowadays everybody at least speaks about consumer insights as guidances. Maybe we don't do it because just before the break I was speaking to Yorgos, who made a presentation before with the do's and don'ts on mobile apps. Pretty obvious stuff. And I asked him, I said, why don't you test an app before it goes on air? We'll let 60 different people use them with different demographics. Just to take some information, whether it works or it doesn't. Whether there are a few things that you can correct or change. Gavin said that we always test. No, here we still have to convince that this is an important step of your job. It might save you time, money, and effort. The second bullet has to do with whether we are ready to see our consumers evaluating us. When we were launching eSatisfaction with Vangelis and the team, we went to e-commerce first, and we were offering it for free to large e-shops and large e-commerce companies, and they did not want it because they were afraid to look at what their customers had to say. We said, no, you only get your ratings, nobody else does. They're not public. And still, they did not want to have them because they did not want to create something in their minds. They thought that consumers will speak only negatively. No, they don't. I will show you something at the end. So it is quite natural for us, because we are Greeks, and when we went to school, we had the Elenkos. We did not have a progress report. We had an Elenkos. And every time we had our parents going to see the Elenkos, we were scared, because somebody was assigning us a value. Somebody was assigning us whether we were good or bad. And we did not like that. That was not feedback. That was Elenkos. So we should be open to it, accept it, and try. And then we need to understand. We need to distinguish constructive feedback from criticism, judgment, or evaluation. If you take the first word, it's a Greek word. It's criticism is a Greek word. It's κριτική. Έχω κάποιον που με κρίνει. Με δικάζει. So I don't like it. Εγώ θα σας δείξω σε λίγο, I will show you in a minute how we give feedback and it's constructive. Επίσης, I don't like the word evaluation, αξιολόγηση. Κάποιος μου δίνει μια συγκεκριμένη αξία. Και πολλές φορές δεν ξέρω ποια είναι τα κριτήρια. Then, when we give feedback, what we need to do is to stick to objective, measurable facts, objective facts. You tell somebody that you know, when you are speaking, you move your hands too much. And this makes me feel that you are nervous. Or this makes me feel that you really mean what you say. This is feedback. Now, I must say a suggestion at the end, saying that you might be more careful with your hands, or you might be looking your audience more around, πιο σφαιρικά, να τους κοιτάς όλους, όχι να μιλάς μόνο σε έναν ή σε κανέναν, για να περνάει απέναντι το μήνυμά σου. This feedback. Στέκομαι, I stay in an objective fact that we can all observe, then I separate my interpretation and my feeling. I never characterize the other person. I never say, you are this or that. That's not feedback. If you ever do it in your teams, you're going to get people who are going to be protected and your message will not pass through. And then you offer a suggestion. Now, when we receive feedback, sorry, I skipped one. When we receive feedback, it is very important for us to be open unconditionally. Let's say somebody is giving us new information. Let's be receptive. Let's be receptive. Everything has its value. We can accept or we cannot accept. But in any case, we learn. And then, if we need to clarify what the other person has told us and evaluate with ourselves, what was that? What was that I was told? Check your emotions and self-reflect. If a feedback hurt you, this you must deal with. Because if somebody else tells us something and it hurts, it means that we are already saying it to ourselves. So check it. Every time something hurts, αν τσούζει, αν σας έτσουξε κάτι, τσεκάρετε το. Now, when giving or receiving feedback, we need to do it with unconditional positive regard, which means we have to be neutral observers. Να μην έχουμε εμπλοκή συναισθηματική, για να μπορέσουμε πραγματικά να το αξιολογήσουμε. We need to develop emphatic understanding, να καταλάβουμε ποιος είναι ο άλλος που το λέει. Not all the customers who write feedback are bad intended. Did I say it correctly? Δεν είναι όλοι κακόβουλοι. Πολλές φορές θέλουν να μας πούνε πράγματα για να βελτιωθούμε. Και το έχουμε δει όταν αγκαλιάζουμε το feedback πραγματικά θετικά. And whenever we are to give feedback or to receive feedback, let's check our intentions. What is our intention? Is it for the other person to learn and grow? Or is it for the other person να τον μαλώσω, to hurt him? Because we believe that if we hurt him, he's going to be better. No, he's not. Okay, so, learn. When we have new information, we can expand our vision and our perspective. We can be helped in exploring further ideas from what new we have learned. And then we can blend it with what we already know and then review what we are going to do. In any case, this applies in any case. And then integrate. What we can integrate after the function of feedback is new habits, is new processes for what we are offering, is new features, generally our offering and what we have to give. It is very important to inform and thank customers or whoever gave us the feedback. I have done, as a market research company, a special qualitative survey, which I have repeated over the years, to understand why, when, and how people respond to research and to feedback. Especially when we were creating our online panel, we wanted to know what is the best way to develop our site and everything in order for people to respond. Now, one of the things was that people said, we would really like to know what happens with our opinions after we give them. And we had some complaints for car companies who do a lot of service satisfaction surveys, and then they don't do any development to change the complaints of the customers. I will show you also, I think we have found in a survey that 40% of customers believe that companies do not do anything with the feedback they collect from consumers. So we really want to show them that not only thank you very much for your opinion, but see, according to what you wanted, we created this service and thank you very much, and now we have it ready for you. It's important. You're going to keep them close to you, you're going to keep them loyal. And repeat. And what consumers do on feedback. Now this is a survey we did last December, November, I don't remember. And we asked them how often they read reviews. So 3 out of 4 read reviews always or very often, and especially the younger ages, 18-34. And in Salonika, I don't know why, maybe they are more curious in Salonika. Now, how often do they respond to different feedback vehicles? And we see that number 1 is email, number 2 is telephone, live, number 3 and 4, very close, is SMS and an automatic voice on the telephone, which is normal. Now, how and when do they give feedback on their own initiative? This is very important because we are not satisfied. Yes, you see the 25 versus 18, which is the dark blue. It was a 5-point scale. So when they are extremely happy, 18% they always give feedback on their own initiative, and 36 very often. Now the two of them combined is 54. Now when they are extremely dissatisfied, it's 25 plus 23, which makes 48. When they are just satisfied, when you just did your job, why should they give any feedback on their own? Why say something? They expect you to give them what you promised them. But this is very important. When and how often do they discuss about an experience they had with a company, with their friends? And you see, that they discuss when they are extremely happy or when they have felt awful, when the experience was awful. So, what are the reasons they think the companies ask for their feedback? We see that 65 have a good reason. They want to be better, or if I'm not satisfied, they want to improve my experience with them. But slightly above 1 out of the 3 believe that we are asking for their feedback either in order to obtain positive comments to use them as promotion tools, or just to ask, no specific reason. That can be better. And this is the end where I'm going to give you a secret surprise. What makes a wow experience a wow? We measured more than 1,000 experiences that people had during the last 6 months. We asked them to describe them in their own words. It was an open-end question. We got large sheets, Excel sheets with various descriptions, very interesting, extremely interesting, describing positive experiences that they had during the last 6 months. Now, these are the 5 occasions. And separately, the mere satisfaction is not considered an experience. And none at all, they never had a good experience. I will show you the figures in a minute. So the extra mile is when the organization does something out of the ordinary to make sure that I am satisfied that what I've been asking is answered successfully and completely. Like when I am at a store and I say, where is the pepper? Where is the salt and the pepper? They don't just tell me it's on the 3rd corridor left. They take me and they tell me there it is. Okay, that's the idea of what is the extra mile. Now, I like beyond the extra mile, the over and above. When they give me something I did not expect. This is very, very important. It makes a wow experience. The non-qualifying customer is when let's say a customer can have something and there are 3 prerequisites and there is one missing or somewhat missing, but they do it. They give me the offer, even if I don't fulfill all criteria. The recovery is when they have made a mistake and the way they recover it. And nowadays, what is very important is the speed that makes a wow experience. Now, if services, products and services especially, are very quick, at some point in time, this will not be a wow experience because everybody will offer it. Right now, it's still impressive. And let's see the figures. What I'm telling you is that 56%, there is 56% opportunity because they either had 56% either had mere satisfaction, nothing special, or no positive experience at all. So there's a lot of room to offer wow experiences. And from the rest, we see that the biggest one is the recovery. Is that when organizations have a fault and the way they recover it. We don't have a lot of non-qualifying customers. Customers make sure they qualify. I mean, they do their part of the agreement. So let's make sure that we do ours. For me, the secret is to always be 360. Give and receive feedback from everyone. If we want a good customer experience, our employees must have a good experience with the organization. This is a 360 approach because you cannot give what you don't have. So thank you very much.